All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to week two of our Aegis Protectors League matchup. This time, we're going to be seeing Dreadzone Gaming Olympus going up against Death Cards Gold. Now, already, kind of into the bands here. So, here I have TDS with me. I'm Jason Crypt 5, and, let's get right into the bands.
Yeah, with an exciting match, two teams that come and defeated. Yes, it was the first week, so both teams coming with just a 1-0, but still, it's going to be an exciting match. Two teams that will try to keep themselves in the good streak of just winning everything and trying to stay on a good path towards the playoffs, which is what everyone is looking forward to. And this match looks to be really interesting. One thing to mention quickly is that, if I'm not wrong, Death Card's Gold lose two bans because of an ESOP, so they are going to be missing that potential power there. But still, they are going to try and make the most out of the picks that they have, and the draft already running forward really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm not particularly sure on the rule books and that type of thing, but I do remember the first two ban losses should be in the first phase. But you know what? Not that it matters now because we're already
Yeah.
in bans. And we kind of see right off the bat, Dreadzone Gaming going with that Hecarim priority and Death Cards responding with Jinx Trundle. So there's already a lot of bouncing around in draft. We see the Varus and Corki being locked in here for Dreadzone. So definitely already kind of a whole scaling kind of composition that they want to be kind of applying here.
Yeah, and a lot of poke when you think about it, because yes, Hecarim is a champion that wants to go in, dive into the backline, and try and kill some targets. But with the Paras and the Corki, you're looking to try and make them as weak as possible before the team fights, so that then the Hecarim can look towards being able to clean up in a much more easy manner. Especially if he goes for the, if I'm not wrong, it's the Chem Tank into Manamune build or the Manamune into Chem Tank build that just gives you the tankiness as well as the innate damage to be able to burst out some targets. And I feel like that's something that DZG may try to play out with these three picks. Now, the picture pick to counter pick, it's pretty much the most logical and normal answer towards the Corki, but it does have control in the mid lane that allows you to play a little bit more aggressive as the Trundle.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're starting to kind of wander into our solo team territory here as we're gonna see the Gragas and things like the Gwen banned out. So kind of a lot of reaction responses here, a lot of pocket picks getting taken out, and kind of saw that in the first phase of bans too, with like the Anivia and the Cinder being gone. Interesting to see that Zeri was banned away from blue side, as usually that is your kind of first pick champion in most of these scenarios. But once again, we see Malphite being banned out. There's definitely a lot of solo lane emphasis here, and it really makes you wonder what both teams are kind of looking for and gunning for right now.
Yeah. Also, to quickly make a correction, it seems that they actually have their starting members, so no bans were lost from what I'm seeing. So it seems like everything is okay. It's going according to their plan and going to according to the rulebook. So that's why the five bans look like normal bans. But yeah, speaking about the focus, we see a lot of focus towards the top lane, and it's because when you look at it, both teams are missing their top lane pick, and this is the places where you actually think about if Death Card's Gold could have just gone for their support and instead going for the counter pick in the top lane, but instead opted for the blind Shen, which is a safe pick, and that allows now for DCG to have a much more counter pick oriented lane in the top lane, which wouldn't be bad for them, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see the Mordekais are being locked in, for that response. But one thing to kind of take note is that Dreadzone kind of had to bite a Janna ban there, and
Yep.
Death Guards Gold put themselves in that position where maybe we could have saw the Janna top this game. I'm still, it kind of in my head over how that whole kind of strategy works. But absolutely, to see it being banned means that Dreadzone Gaming are definitely afraid of that and want to be able to play around it. So you see, Nautilus gonna get locked in here for the last pick of the draft potentially as any second now, but oh wait till the last second, but yeah, that's gonna be Nautilus locked in for
Yeah.
the last pick for the side of DZG Olympus. Now Death Cards Gold honestly have all their counter pick time in the world as they want because technically that Shen could go support and we could still see some type of enchanter with smite in the top lane.
I feel like they'll take the Thresh just because it's a safe pick for the Jinx, and then it also can deny the engage potential from the Nautilus and a little bit from the Hecarim. So I think that may be the angle for them. But yeah, just as I was thinking, I knew it always happens like this. But yeah, I thought that the idea of the Shen being a flex would be ideal. But yeah, the Thresh just fit the bill in so many things that Death Card Gold may want to play around with, especially because they have a Jinx, they have a picture, and they have already a nice, huge front line in the form of the Trundle and the Shen. So it's not like you need that kind of flex potential with the Shen or something really bizarre from the side of Death Card Gold to be able to play around this Jinx. I feel like the Thresh just fits the build so well. in almost every circumstance. The thing that I want to point out though from DCG Olympus is that I feel like their composition idea is kind of a little bit of a mess. Not because some champions don't fit, because I think that the first three picks kind of can work well together, but the added champions that they picked aren't that great in my opinion. Like Mordekaiser really doesn't fit really well with the idea of the Paris and the Corki. Like he wants to try and pick off members in the side lane, and then when he joins team fights, he really wants to take a target away. But realistically, he's going to have access to targets that are not going to be that great to take away, in my opinion. And then the Nautilus, it's a champion that wants to go in, not out. So you don't not having enough peel or disengage potential from your support as well may damper your possibilities of trying to force teamfights, because realistically, as the Corki and the Varus, you don't want to force teamfights. You want to poke around and then play around the potential to just kill a champion before a teamfight breaks out. Because if it's just a straight up teamfight, Jinx and Victor are way better.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of one whole thing is that I'm interested to see the specific build paths as well. With
Yeah.
the latest Corki nerfs coming in, there could be a change in the Corki build. Varus has been seeing a lot of kind of variation in terms of whether or not to bounce between lethality or attack speed. And even within those different builds, there's also variation there.
Yeah.
Tank did get a nerf as well, so we could see, Hecarim opt for different item builds. And honestly, for the side of both teams, really, there's a lot of different variation in terms of what items could be picked and specifically which ones that fit the team comp better. But one thing that I'm really interested to see in is actually just how the team fight plays out. Because you have a lot of these elements from DZG that kind of want to be running in, like you mentioned, TDS, but then you also have the peel from the Shen, you have the zoning from Trundle and Victor. So honestly, I feel like a lot of this is also going to come down to execution and how they play out those fights too.
Yeah. And execution wise, like you're pointing out, I feel like when you look at the composition from the Death Card's Gold, it feels like it's much easier to execute because you know what each of the champions need to do in order for the composition to succeed effectively. But when you look at DCGs, you know what some of the champions can do, but the manner in that they do it kind of goes against the manner that the other champions go in. Because we talked about going in, Hecarim and Nautilus want to go in, Mordekaiser wants to kind of take away someone and force a 1v1, and then Corki and Batters wants to either poke or if they go for the team fight composition to try and peel around and force the fights to be longer. But those modes going against each other may conflict in the longer team fights, in the later stage team fights, especially against Jinx and Victor that are so much of a huge carry in their positions. And then you're going against such a huge frontline in the form of the Shen, the Trundle, and the Thresh that can not only engage but disengage as well. And that mode that they have to team fight may be much more effective against the composition that it's not that well rounded, in my opinion, from the side of TCG. Like it can work out, don't get me wrong, if they are far ahead enough, or if they are able to force the composition from Death Guard's Gold into a really bad spot, into chokeholds, for example, or separate them into spots where the Mordekaiser can find a lot of value and the Hecarim can get on top of the Jinx and the Victor, then their composition can get a lot of value. But if it's just a straight up 5v5 front to back team fight, I just feel like Death Guard's Gold is so much easier to execute, and they will have much easier space to play around, especially in objective fights.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, TDS, you mentioned a lot of if statements, and those if statements can
Yeah.
really only be answered in on Summoner's Rift. So, with that being said, we're just gonna go ahead and cut to a short little spectator delay while we're waiting to, kind of load up. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn.
Oh, alright. Welcome back to Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is the Aegis Protectors League Week 2 matchup. Once again, it's Dreadzone Gaming Olympus versus Death Cards Gold. I'm JScript5, I'm with TDS, and, kind of right off the bat, nothing too special to take note. Does look like Varus will be going for that attack speed build, which is definitely, a bit on interesting end. I'm excited to see what items he does opt for. But, aside from that, we see the Ignite on Shen as well, and heal from the side of Crucifix, not going for that exhaust.
Yeah, so looking at like the point that you made with those runes, important to those runes, not with the summoners. This ignite on the Shen, it's kind of interesting for me, much more so than almost anything apart from maybe the heal from the Kings, because would he get a lot of kill potential on that Mordekaiser? Logically speaking, like Mordekaiser should be able to take most of the control in the lane, but there's small windows of opportunity if you're a good Shen player where you can get those solo kill potentials. And with the Ignite, you really see, like everyone knows that the teleport is not necessary to impact the rest of the map. It's just mainly to try and protect your lane. But if the Shen can play around the Ignite really well, like there's a good opportunities that he can get a solo kill. And then speaking about the bot lane, I was thinking a little bit much more about the not the exhaust but the cleanse, because of the amount of CC that is currently on the side of DZG.
Absolutely, I mean, it's really the only form of cleansable CC, I believe, is really just the Hecarim and Nautilus, so it might be a little bit challenging on that. And the Z top lane is gonna be a trade. Ignite's going down from the side of Mahar here. Level 2 hit by the Mordekaiser though. This might be trouble for the Jet. The flash away from the grasp, and Mahar picks up first blood on towards the Shen, and that's exactly what we were going into, TDS.
See, that wasn't really the window of opportunity that I was thinking of, but it works out, right? Like you get the solo kill, you get the value. Now the only problem is that the Mordekaiser has a teleport back, so it's not like he's going to lose a lot. But this gank from the Trundle may work out. There's still a flash on him though.
Oh. Yeah, taunt going in from the side of Mahar. Octofu might be in an awkward position here. Luca is chomping away on this Trundle, and that's another kill in the top lane. It's a disaster, TDS. No teleport on the Mordekaiser. Wave state is in the refrigerator. It is frozen right now. And, right off the bat, Death Cards pick up a 600 gold lead.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's getting frozen. I think that Shen is trying to push it as hard as possible. But still, 2 kills at the start of the first 3 minutes in the game. And also 1 going to the Trundle and 1 going to the Shen. Really important, because even though you would like to probably get both kills into the laner, like getting the value on the Trundle means that the next back that he goes on, maybe he can begin challenging the Hecarim a little bit earlier. And you know that Hecarim earlier on, it's not the best of junglers. Like, he can clear really well, but he doesn't really want to fight as early as possible. So this is a good window of opportunity for the Trundle to try and invade the Hecarim, get a lot of value, and put him down as hard as he can. Ooh, the Corki.
The mid lane, Mobster Penguin getting chunked out a lot, and honestly, I've been watching the LPL and all those types of analysis videos, and there's just such divided opinion among pro players of the like in Korea, China, wherever, about what this Corki Victor matchup is like. And, clearly for the side of Grugs, he knows and he believes and he knows that this is a winning matchup, as, Mobster Penguin forced to use that teleport super early on. Grugs still has, a biscuit available. Straight again the top lane. Look at the health advantage Mahar has. Octofu is not hitting the mark here. Hecarim does coming in, power over Ethernet is here as well. But is this going to be enough for the Shen? A couple more trades in the top lane. The Conqueror slowly stacking with Hecarim. No flash available on this Shen, remember. And that might be a trade kill back, and yes it is. Power over Ethernet, able to pick up the kill over Mahar. Octofu was forced to flash forward there. But once again, good gank from the side off this Hecarim, getting himself on that map early and, putting a bit off, putting Octofu's foot back in towards this top lane matchup.
The only thing is that he did the Hecarim is the one that takes the kill, so I'm not 100% convinced that that was probably the best of the scenarios. Like, yes, you get the kill back, but Mordekaiser is still going to be struggling a little bit. He doesn't get the value of the kill, and the Shen may have died, but the wave is still going. He's going to collect some of those minions. It's going to be equal to the Mordekaiser, so it's not going to be the worst of stages. Like you pointed out, this is going to mainly benefit the Hecarim to get towards that level 6 power spike, where he can begin looking much more aggressively into ganking lanes and trying to get kills. But it's still great timing by Ethernet, great timing to try and stop the bleeding as much as possible. And Mahar on the other side has to be much more careful because he was playing without vision.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. OC hook goes wide from Kubin here. The Lantern and the Flay slows up the Nautilus, but the Traps and Pillar just going wide there. That was almost a really good look there from the side of Macanimus, but, you know, not able to convert there means that that will just be a blowing off the flash for the Ignite there. But oh, once again, Mahar, oh no, don't do it to him. Just forces out the claw defensively from Octofu, and his top lane matchup is just so insufferable for this Mordekaiser in these early levels.
Yeah, as of right now, it's going to be so hard for Octofu to be able to do as much as he wants. Although, wait a second, Eternity is coming here. No ultimate though.
Yeah, we do see the contest coming through here. Targets are low. Hook on towards Hecarim Zone. The Flay away. They want to go for the smite, but no. Macanimus is just one shot here. The smite goes towards the Trundle. Does have flash on the side of Luke to be able to peel off the Chaos Storm coming down from Victor as well. The Pillar going in as well. Kubomi gets picked up by Crucifix. And Power Up Leader has no flash available. This horse is going to get neutered right there. Kill going over to the Trundle. 2 for 0. 2 for 1, sorry, and the Dragon is absolutely worth it for the side of Death Card's Gold. Once again, Mahar wants to look for the kill. Oh my goodness, Mahar picks up the kill. Isn't gonna live past the tower dive though, but that's a huge minion wave crashing in towards the top half, and you know, Death Card's Gold are just kind of running on all cylinders here.
Yeah, they're getting kills left and right. Talking firstly about what we just saw, the solo kill in the top lane. Mahar once again just diving with Ignite on reset. He can go in for the kill and get such an easy little kill. I was thinking if maybe he could have just let the Ignite run through and then he runs away before he gets killed. But realistically, you want to secure the kill. And like you pointed out, the minions were dying to the turret. So it's not like you're losing anything by dying there, apart from the kill gold. But it's much more valuable for the Shen. Then on the other side, it looked kind of dicey because I felt like maybe the Hecarim could have done a little bit more. But this is the problem with Hecarim. Yes, he has damage, but it's not the same as if he had his ultimate. And if he has onslaught of shadows there, we may have seen a potential not only steal from the dragon, but also killing the Trundle before he gets any value out of the smite. Oh wait, gank potential
speaking
here.
of getting value here, Mahar gonna get pulled in here by Octofu, but the
Nice
flash dodges out on that empowered E-auto perfectly from Power over Ethan and saves himself a kill, and you know, that huge minion wave there. Honestly, we do see the side of Dreadzone Gaming posturing towards this Rift Herald at 8 minutes. See Kubomi also roaming up towards that top side, so they definitely have their sights set on that right now. Hook goes wide on the Scuttle Crab though. A bit of
even the Scuttle Crab sidesteps.
Yeah, now they are gonna get spotted out by Grugs here, but you know, does it look like there will be a contest on the side of Death Cards? Luke does have that level 6, does have the double buff available. Shen ultimate is online as well. They might want to look for just a gank at the top lane here. Bahar might want to go in for the taunt anytime soon. Now Octofu does have that death realm to be able to cage in that Mordekaiser, but it looks like it won't be enough. Able to cage in the Shen though, and that's gonna be a solo kill going over towards Octofu. Sub-GA comes down on towards the Mordekaiser, but Kuromi is here as well. A lot of damage getting loaded in on towards this Trundle, and Luke is not gonna be able to survive long enough. Shut down going over towards Mobster Penguin.
Yeah, that was really dumbly played by the side of the Gargoyles. The gank idea is not inherently bad, but you know what you're getting with the with the Mordekaiser there. Like, you know he's going to ult you, so there's no chance for you to ignore the 1v1 potential. Oh, wait.
Yeah, but speaking of 1v1 potential, Grug going in here, looking on towards Monster Penguin. Penguin, Chaos Storm going off as well, and you know, forces the flash out of Corki. And you know, kind of going back to your point, TDS, the other thing was Grug spotted the rest of the, you know, Grug spotted the Hecarim and Nautilus with that Scryer's Loom. So the fact that they still went for that play was, you know, it was pretty greedy. Now, it does mean that Nebel is going to be punished here, not going to be able to access this entire wave for a good minute or two. And you look at the CS difference, it's just ballooning right now. It's at 16 right now, but it is going to get more. 600 gold difference between the 280 carries right now. And, you know, it's only going to grow as the time goes down. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the wave is in a perfect position. Also, look where Luke, the Trundle is. He's on the bot side, so if they are able to bait a little bit more, like right now, they may go perfectly for the solo kill. Oh,
yeah. Oh, Chains of Corruption going wide. The Death Charge going in on towards the Nautilus. The Chloe is gonna get slowed up by the box as well, and that's gonna be a dead Nautilus. The Trundle Pillar just for the little assist. Pick up the gold, and look at that minion wave. They're gonna push it out. They don't want to hold the freeze anymore. They said, "You've had enough suffering, Nebo. Here, some of these scraps here." But you know, it might just be not enough here. We see Luke posturing down on this bottom half with the Trundle is gonna clear out this controller. Oh, maybe not here, but you know, just once again, the pressure that the side of Death Card's Gold is putting out is so immense, and you know, they're capitalizing it on every side of the map right now.
Yeah, just laning wise, they're able to put pressure on each of the laners from the side of DZG. It's surprising the amount of pressure that they are able to take. Yes, some damage here from Mahar, but it's not going to matter. Like, the Jinx ahead, the Victor ahead, the Shen is equal with the Mordekaiser. Like, that alone is so good coming into the mid game because the Jinx is spiking way earlier. She already has the Kraken Slayer into the Varus having just the Nuclear. Then the Corki just completed the Manamune, so he's going to be able to stack it, but compared to just having the Leandris that it seems that the Victor is going to build, I really like that he opted for that. Means that damage-wise for the mid-game fights is going to be quite lacking. Monster
Yeah,
Penguin.
but speaking of the mid-game fight, Monster Penguin wants to look here with the package, but it's going to get caught out by a hook. Package going to go down towards Luke, though, and that's just going to be a free delivery system all the way down towards that Trundle. No assist for the Corki, but once again, good look from the side of Dreadzone, able to capitalize and pick off that Trundle, especially when they were posturing for that bottom half play. Dragon is going to come up here
can
and...
force this fight.
Yeah, no Trundle available, though, which is really crucial for the side Death Card's gold. It is going to be a full-on 4v4, though. No teleport is available for the side of Octofu if he decides to use it, but it looks like Dreadzone Gaming are just going to back off here.
Yeah, Trundle already spawned, so he's coming immediately towards the dragon, and that now becomes a 5v4, which I think for the side of DCG, it's not the most ideal situation to fight. Jinx is on the bot side though.
Drugs here, gonna get a 2-man Chaos Storm on
Flash
towards
in.
Evil and Monster Penguin here. It's gonna get focused off by that Dexter, but Luch picking up the kill on towards the Hecarim. Grugs is gonna get traded away by the Corki as well though. But look at Kubomi, that's just gonna be a wandering Seaman on towards the street here. Great hook from the side of Mechanimus, able to pick up the triple kill for the side of Luke. 12 minutes into the game, and you know this was absolutely a fight that Death Card's gold needed. They're still down a couple hundred gold because of the top lane plates, but absolutely a great tempo swing for that Jinx and for that Trundle.
And securing a second break means that realistically it's not a win condition that they should be afraid of. The soul is not something that they are going to be worried about being taken away from them. Yes, they may have lost some plates in the top side, but Victor immediately TP's response. Almost the turret gets almost killed. That's really close to being the complete 5 plates going in favor of the Mordekaiser, which realistically saves him from the laning phase a little bit thanks to the fact that he collected so much gold. But in the whole spectrum of things, the Jinx is so far ahead. The Trundle is as well collecting a lot of gold. I would have loved that they gave away some of the gold to the Jinx, because if she's on 2 items at this point in the game, you're really going to suffer the longer the game goes on, because she reaches 4 items quicker. That means that teamfights are less likely to be won by you.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at that Trundle. Look at Luke right now. Absolutely huge on this troll. 5-2-2 right now. But on the other end, you look at that Mordekaiser, has that Riftmaker, has the Sork Pen shoes complete as well. Octofu is looking to do some damage now on this Metal Man. But, you know, once again, you know, that Jinx is just such an ever-looming threat right now. 10 CS per minute. You know, Kraken Slayer and some extra gold that she's sitting on right here. As Mahara is gonna be in trouble here. Octofu gonna catch him out. Oh, power over Ethernet, able to time the E, but not able to get more, as the flash is gonna be blown away from the Shen once again. But you know, Dead Zone, you know, kind of keep looking towards this top side, and Death Card's not able to kind of respond accurately. Now the hook lands on towards the Nautilus here. They're going to look for the all-in play here, but Death Card goes on towards the Jinx as well, maybe taking a lot of damage, but the Nebel Chains of Corruption just isn't enough, and Crucifix picks up another kill here. Another hook does go wide, but barely. And you know, this bot lane is an ever-living hell right now for the side of Nebel. He's trying his best out here, but you know, Machanimus is just magnetic with these hooks right now.
Yeah, and honestly, when you pick the Barons, one of the things that this Baron
Whoa, teleport coming in from Octofu here, but
what was the plan?
I don't know, DDS, but see here, Mahar trading with this Hecarim here. Now, no items complete on the Hecarim. Onslaught of Shadows goes down on towards the horse here. The tower shots, the red buff taking away. Does Mahar have the shield? No, power for Ethan. Able to take off the kill there. Executes the Shen there. Deathrum going down on towards the bot side. Machanimus might be in trouble here. Crucifix trying to farm away the wave, and Machanimus is doing a great job at buying time stopwatch. So Crucifix has no mana, though. Luke is on a rampage in towards that top half of the dragon fight, though. There's going to be fighting all over the map right now. Machanimus with that Mordekaiser passive, not able to pick up the kill on towards the Thresh here. Trundle able to pick up the kill on towards Kubomi as well, and that's another kill going over to the Nautilus. The Nautilus is playing Gray Screen Simulator right now, TDS. It is not looking good here for the side of DZG.
Yeah, and on the other side, look at the other supporter. Machanimus played that so well. He played that as perfect as he could. Stopwatch use, kited the Mordekaiser for so long, but then when he came out, stunned him for so long that he couldn't get a lot of damage, and Crucifix, even without mana, even without the extra damage from the rockets, was able to kill the Mordekaiser so easily. Mordekaiser used teleport to come down, to go down there, and he didn't get anything. He ended up dying. He should use package here. Oh,
Yeah,
doesn't
speaking
have
of things that
actually.
we don't get here, Luke forces the flash out of Mobster Penguin, and you know
Wait,
that small gold lead that we saw. Oh my god! Did that just
She
happen? Oh my
stole it,
goodness.
yeah.
Power over Ethan that might be in trouble as well. Crucifix is just
Oh,
taking
no.
over this game. Crucifix is unstoppable, TDS. Did the Jinx just stole the Herald with the rocket, took it from the side of Ethernet, and just solo killed the jungler.
Yeah, so the biggest problem right now that I see is that if this was a normal game, I think everyone from the enemy team would be tilted. If you lose the Herald to the Jinx, like that's just kind of the cherry on top of the cake. You are so tilted, but this competitive game, oh no, Kubami again.
Kubomi, not again. The hook not gonna get there. The pillar cancels it out. Luke is dominating too.
And now a guy.
And the snowball just keeps on rolling for the side of Death Cards. So they're gonna look more. Another hook from Macanimus. Luke is godlike now, and I don't know what to say from here, TDS, because you know this Thresh is taking over the game. Mahar going in on towards the Corki as well, and you know it really is just non-stop action here from the side of Death Cards Gold.
Yeah, but one thing that is for certain is that whatever Mahar is, Power Feathernet is there. Like he's ready to kill this Shen. Oh, he failed.
Armon for, but you see the Hecarim Power of Ethernet coming in and getting that pick off. They want to give the kill over towards Corki, but Power of Ethernet says no. I'm gonna just take this. And
Oh no.
not again. Let me breathe, please. The old flash forced out of the Varus, but right into the waiting arms of Drugs right there. No one
Calculated.
dies for the side of Death Cards, and you know, objective bounty being claimed in the bot side is great and all, but you know, Dreadzone are looking really dreadful right now because they're
Yeah.
just constantly just getting picked off, and it just snowballs in towards a dragon. It's just never ending here.
Yeah, and there's no chance to seal it. Hecarim doesn't have ultimate nor flash, so he cannot go in. This dragon is going to get secured as well, and now it's so point all of a sudden for the team that has a lot of tanky members. A lot of members that want to stack some armor, so this is going to be so effective for the side of the Cards Gold. And they are playing this game, like you pointed out, trying to make the snowball get as big as possible. And I gotta say one thing as well. Macanimus, I think I'm getting now what they went for the Thresh last pick. Like, he's playing so well. This Thresh is all over the map, getting so much done, controlling the pace of the game really well. Oh, wait, Victor.
Mid lane, Victor forced to use the flash as well. Has that Shen ultimate coming in for that additional safety, but looks like Grugs will be able to walk out of this unscathed.
And that was another, like, desperate effort from the side of DZG to achieve some value in the map, but sadly they are not finding the good avenues. Like, they're so far behind. That flash, it's good, but it's not going to do much. Like, Grugs just need to play safe, play close to his turret, and push the wave. That's it. He doesn't need to worry about anything else.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, Crucifix is just taking over this game right now, 5-0 and 3, and you know, going back to that Rift Herald play, usually it's, you know, the jungler kind of coming in, taking your stuff, and then just solo killing the AD carry, but Crucifix said, you know, Uno reverse, it's my turn, as Kubomi might crash out Drugs here, is going to get out.
Dead.
From the CT,
He's dead.
Chain disruption going down as well, the Q goes wide from the Varus and in the bot half. Crucifix is on a rampage, picking off the Nautilus. Teleport coming in from Mobster Penguin though, but is this a good fight? No, right on towards the Jinx traps here. Mobster Penguin forced to back up here. Another hook coming in from Macanimus. Crucifix is gonna flash in. Kubomi, where are you going with those hooks?
No.
And it's just a never-ending nightmare here for Dreadzone Gaming.
And
Luke is coming in. The Troll is coming to town, and that's just gonna be a chomp and an ace for the side of Death Cards Gold.
It's a 6,000 gold lead at 19 minutes. Baron isn't even up, but these are fights that are won even without the Shen. The Shen was alone split pushing in the top side. He took a turret down by himself, and everyone else was killing the enemy team down in bot lane. This game is looking so dire for DZG. Oh, the back, no, Grugs.
Yeah, maybe that's a good thing. The minions are like, okay, guys, we canceled the recalls. Right
It's
now,
the
it's just
silver linings, right?
it's the silver linings, absolutely. Now, if we kind of take stock off item inventories here, Corki has hit that kind of elusive 2-item breakpoint that means that some of the damage is starting to come through, but you kind of look on the other end for the side of death cards. They have the Leandry's done on the Victor. They have that 7-stack Dark Seal. They have the Kraken Runon triple longsword Jinx right now. And the 2 items on the Trundle, the 10-2 and 3 Trundle, the level gaps between AD carries, the level gaps between support. Kubomi is, kind of just a walking ward right now. Level 8, Glacial Augment, no tankiness, 1 and 7. There's just, there's a lot of thinking to be done here, and it has to make you think what could DZG possibly do to get themselves any way back into this game.
The only thing that I can kind of think about is the Mordekaiser getting to his second item and forcing fights that he can win against the Shen. Because if he has control over the side lane, then you can look to try and poke around with the Corki and the Varus, maybe, to stop this kind of attempts. But instead, it's Death Guard Golds just forcing the Baron out without vision. I love this bound. There was no vision. But even if they can try and like, it's already dead. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's gone. Just 21 minutes. 3 item, Jake. That's an item every 7 minutes, TDS.
Yeah.
Crucifix is, playing out of his mind right now on this Jinx. Now, Mordekaiser is going to get locked up in the death room, but the Q goes by. Where is this E going to go? It is not going to go anywhere right now. We haven't seen it been used at Flash Force out of Mahar, but the Flash Fall from Octofu not going to catch up, and it's a tragedy there in the bottom half. TDS, I don't know. It's looking really doomed in that front, but and Death Cards are knocking on the door of this top lane tower at the same time.
It's so hard because they don't get the kill. They don't get the kill away.
Oh my god, look at power over Eden. He might just be in trouble here. A couple more tower shots and the Chain of Corruption going on towards the
he died.
starting to
What?
spin. But look at that crucial channel from the side of Mahar here. The locket as well, the hook on towards the Nautilus. Once again, if Kubomi to the fountain, you go. Todd going it on towards Nemo. That's a triple kill going over towards the Victor. It's just going to be Monster Penguin looking as the rest of the Peggy friends are going to be falling apart here. Death Cards Gold might just go for the end here, TDS.
Yeah, this should be it. There's no chance that the Corki can protect this. He doesn't even make damage towards Corki. Like, he's just able to stand in front and survive anything the Corki does. Yeah, this game, what a dominant first game from the side of Death Cards Gold. They just essentially won every lane. Like, team fighting wise, they lost some small skirmishes, and the ganks from Power Ethernet were pretty much what was keeping DZG in the game. But realistically, every lane was won by Death Guard's Gold.
Yeah, I mean, that was honestly just such a dominant performance from the side of DZG. Every single lane was kind of finding its advantages. And the support differential there was honestly massive. Matt Canonus is Thresh looking like Mad. I didn't know Mad Life was playing an APL DDS, but those Thresh hooks were absolutely on point and beautiful. And it really made Kuboni kind of just look lost on the map there. And for the side of DZG, what do you think they could possibly do if they kind of want to recuperate for the second game?
Well, as a starters, and this is just a guess, but I'm feeling like Mechanimos is getting his Thresh banned away, just a feeling. But speaking immediately about what they can correct, I feel like just trying to make a much more cohesive composition, because the Mordekaiser never really found his place. The fact that he lost at the start of the game really made it harder for him to be able to play the game. But even then, like, the teamfight wise, it was going to be so incredibly hard for them to be able to play around the Mordekaiser. And then when the Nautilus was behind, when the Varus was behind, and he opted for the attack speed or damage, much more continuous damage build, it was just going to be close to impossible to be able to play the mid game. So I feel like they need to go for something much more cohesive, much more reasonable, and that has power in the early stages, so that we can see much more effectiveness from Ethernet to get a lot of value, and so that the lanes that he impacts can begin getting stronger earlier than they probably would need to in the later stage of the game, like it happened in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of things we need to get to a little break between the games here.
Yep.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Death Cards Goals are gonna be up 1-0 here, and Dreadzone Gaming need to pull something out of the rabbit's hat here to be able to pick up a force of game 3 here. But aside from that, don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
Everybody panic! Hold on! I'm about to say something really cool. 3, 41, 9, and lift off! No one dies screaming without me. I feel like I've forgot to shoot something. You're starting to bore me. She's such a loser. Always ready to cry. Ah, come on. What's the worst that could happen?
You need to ask us, ready check. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back towards game two of this Aegis Practice League game between Dreadzone Gaming, Olympus, and Death Cards Gold. Once again, I'm JScript5. I have TDS with me right here, as we're kind of already a couple picks in towards the draft, and kind of talk to me, TS. What's the kind of? Oh no, they let the Thresh through again.
Wait, yeah, I just realized I was muted, but yeah, they left the Thresh up. It's okay. It's going to be actually exciting seeing the Thresh once again. But I want to point out something much more important. Finally, someone that sees the Victor and decides to try and play a lane that can actually work against the Victor. The Vel'Koz is, I won't say it's a great counter, it's the best counter against the Victor, but it's a lane that not a lot of people play around, and I feel like you can get so much value against the Victor, and against champions like the Trundle and Alistar that needs to run to you to get a lot of value. Like, you can just poke from the safe distance, and your true damage is going to work marbles against these kinds of champions as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and kind of looking at how that game one went with that Corky Victor lane,
Yeah.
I expect a lot of that pressure to kind of translate as well. Like if the side of Grugs was able to pilot that Victor so well, like he should know just as well how to play into it. And that Vel'Koz is absolutely a power pick. Now we see the Doctor is in town here, gonna get locked in blind here, and we'll get to see what Death Cards go for this kind of jungle counter matchup. But looking at the whole situation here, like the misfortune gonna get picked up here for the side of Nebel as well, and the Alistar for Kubomi as well. They're clearly shifting to Circumference, so Graves lock in is gonna be there for
Okay.
Luke.
I was thinking maybe a Shin may have come through because of his early game prowess, and if not the Shin, potentially the Olaf because of the same reasons. But the Graves, a much more farm-oriented jungler, kind of in the same vein as Hecarim, but he's going to be essentially another carry for your team. This time it's going to be less of a front line from the side of Death Guard's Gold, but more damage from your backline. And realistically, the Thresh and the Mundo may work, may be good enough to just defend from the front line from the side of the DCG Olympus. It's Trundle top, I think, because of the Mundo.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Jordan and the Alistar as engaged potential is not a bad idea, and you also have the Cataclysm to try and lock people into the Misfortune ultimate so that you can get full value out of those ultimates. But the Thresh here is going to work marbles, because if they try to engage forcefully, the Thresh can just disengage and try and keep the Jinx and the Vel'Koz as safe as possible. And if you're able to just make it so that the Thresh is the only one dead, you pretty much can win the long team fights. Like, Death Guard's gold composition is still a composition that team fights from 10 from no 15 seconds longer, or yeah, around the 12-second mark, if are 12 seconds or longer, they are going to win those fights because they have much more consistent damage in their pockets. DZG Olympus require to win shorter team fights, the ones that are between one or not one 5 and 12 seconds, because they need to burst out targets as quickly as possible, and if they cannot do that, they are going to lose those longer team fights.
Yeah, absolutely. From the side of Dread Zone, Wombo is the name of the game, but from the side of Death Cards, they can take their time. They have the
Yeah.
Mundo that can just kind of face tank anything. They have the Thresh for repositioning, and Crucifix on that Jinx was an absolute madman, just kind of flashing in, taking Rift Heralds from junglers and solo killing
Yeah.
them. Death Cards will definitely have set themselves up well, and it looks really clear. Kind of what both teams' win conditions are. So I'm, kind of excited to see how it goes. But once again, Mac Animus on the Thresh again, and that's definitely kind of a pick that I want us to be on the lookout for, because if that Thresh game went the same way as it did in game, if this Thresh game goes the same way as it did in game one, Dead Zone Gaming Olympus might find themselves in a bit of a ditch once again.
Yeah, and particularly in another lane that may be a little bit hard for them. Like, Misfortune against Jinx, Misfortune should be able to try and get and win with the distance and try and gain control. But Alistar against the Thresh, it's I take it as a coin flip matchup, in the sense that if you're able to bait out the flea before the headbutt goes in, you pretty much win the trade. But if you get flayed when your headbutt is going in, you're losing the trade 100% of the time. So the fact that DCG Olympus opted into this kind of coin flippy matchup, especially after what happened in the first game, it's kind of, well, it shows good confidence at least, but it also may be it also may be just them trying to prove that they are better, and just I forget the word because it's hard to remember some words for me, but it's just not the best of looks if you do it out of just your ego.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of things that are not the best, waiting times are not the best in terms of our stream and that type of thing. So we're gonna
They
jump
do
towards
like
a
to jump it.
short
Yep.
little spectate delay break. So ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back with game two of this APL series.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on towards Summoner's Rift. And, you know, right off the bat, we're already seeing some level 1 action here. Kind of abilities being thrown out all over the place here. Flay goes wide with the flash knock up front the side of the Alistar, forces the flash out of Luke as well. The Graves Ignite is ticking down, and away, but looks like it won't be enough. And Luke barely walks out of this. Cigar on its last end of the light. And, you know, right off the bat, we're seeing a lot of early action here. Flashes blown from the Graves, Vel'Koz, Alistar, and J4, but no kills going over so far.
Yeah, but this kind of hints me that thanks to this, bot lane is going to get a kill at the start. Like, I feel like first blood is going to come through from bot lane, because Kubomi with no summoners, they also know where the Jarvan is, and they know that the Jarvan doesn't have flash either. So we may see a level 1 attempt, or level 2 attempt, from the bot lane from the Deathguard's hold to try and gain the advantage. But still, what a crazy start to the game. I love those level 1s, because if you can net an advantage for your team really early on, you can just spike so out of control in this kind of series.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, right off the bat, it does look like, you know, side of Crucifix and Mechanics are going to be a bit late to lane.
Yeah.
But, you know, not much of a problem aside from that. Still going to be within XP range. Still going to pick up all 3 minions. AD carry's favorite thing in that level 1. But, you know, kind of going into this specific game now, like, you know, with these summoners blown as well. See Mahar just kind of... Mahar just standing there. And, you know, this whole thing... Like, it's been a really long time since I've seen a Vel'Koz here.
Yeah.
Kind of walk me through, you know, what should we expect out of, you know, the tentacle monster in that mid lane?
Ideally, and most of all, it's going to be wave clear mostly. You're going to be trying to spam your W's. One thing that I'm not sure, because it's something like you're pointing out, it's been quite a long time, but one thing that was kind of a thing with the Vel'Koz was if you max W or if you max Q. Oh, wait, Jarvan coming in.
Yeah, Jarvan is going to be moving in here. The bullet rain coming down, but, you know, the side of Crucifix and Mechanics just backing off here. Hook goes barely wide on towards Nebo there. But, you know, looking at this lane position, they know that Jarvan could be around here, especially at this 2-minute and 50-second mark. But, you know, they're slowly posturing, a lot of walking back and forth here. No Flay coming out yet. Flay cancels out the flag and drag, and just like that, pressure alleviated from the bot lane of Deathguard's Gold.
Yeah, and this is the thing. If that play doesn't work out at the start, then it's going to be almost impossible to be able to make it work out. No flash on the Alistar means that if you're not able to CC for long enough, you cannot make it work out. And I was thinking the Flay coming in a little bit late, but it actually worked out so well that you don't even blow any summoner from the side of Deathguard's Gold bot lane. Like, they are able to survive that gank without blowing anything. And now look at the difference between the junglers. Graves was able to full clear his whole jungle. He's now in the Scuttle Crab, and he can go into the Jarvan's red side jungle and try and steal. If he was able to check on the Jarvan, he should know that the Jarvan's jungle should still be out. They are going to check him out now. Yeah.
Absolutely. Mobster Penguin will get tagged by the blind here, but Luke is kind of playing with fire here. One Graves by himself. No flash available to the Jarvan, forced to use that little dash to get out here, and just the poke from Vel'Koz means that this invade is just going to kind of hold that Jarvan in place. And for such an early ganker like this J4 pick, you know, you don't want to be spotted. You want to be kind of, you know, hidden on the map, unpredictable. So, you know, definitely just a great start from the side of Deathguard's Gold, just containing the early pressure that Dreadzone are trying to put out. You see, Misfortune has no mana, and, you know, this bot lane wave is going to take a long time before Nebo can even touch it.
Yeah, no mana. She's not running Comet either, which means that she's not running the what is it called, the ring to get mana. I forgot the specific name, but the ring to try and get mana back. Spell flow band, which means that she's not mana flow band actually. Yeah, so she's going to be running quite low in mana, and she's also not running tier, which means that, like I'm pointing out, she's not running well in mana. So if she keeps on spamming that, she's not going to get a lot of lane control. And I want to point out that Jarvan gang was actually so smart. It was so perfectly timed, so well thought out, but the lack of flash from Kubomi made that really hard to work out, as well as the lack of flash from Power of Ethernet. If both had flash, they probably secure a kill, or at least are able to force everything out of bot lane. But because they didn't have the flashes thanks to the skirmish at the start, it meant that they could not pull it off effectively. Oh, wait.
Yeah, absolutely. A power move, even just gonna move in here just so that, you know, Mobster Penguin can look to shove out this mid lane here.
Yeah.
And, you know, this Jarvan, you don't pick Jarvan to look to shove out mid wave. You're not picking the Jarvan to low out. He wants to look for a play here. Is gonna force the flash again, and you know the happy penguin there from the side of Grugs because absolutely, I mean, the Jarvan's right there. Like that definitely looked like a little difficult of a force there, but you know, just Jarvan not having flash for the first 10 minutes of a game is absolutely just, you know, a very disadvantaged factor for the side of Dreadzone Gaming.
Yeah, it's something that it's going to make you fail a lot of those ganks. Like, once again, that gank was not going to work out. And this time around, it's because even if you force out something from the Vel'Koz, there was no mana on the Victor. So he couldn't allow you to support with any kind of help. That was just so forced. And maybe it's the despair that you feel, like you talked about. Jarvan wants to try and make the first ganks work out. The fact that he didn't achieve that at the start means that he just maybe felt desperate enough that he wanted to force something out, and when it didn't work out, he just couldn't, he just ended up wasting his own flash. Now, Graves is coming in, but this kind of gank from Graves is not bad, because look at his spacing 2 farming. He's 44 CS to 32 of the Jarvan, he's going to keep on power farming, and now he may even steal the red buff from the Jarvan. Yeah.
Oh, it's just a violation in the jungle here, TDS, you know. Luke is just absolutely he's just getting everything right now. You know, Power of the Ethernet is going to pick up this dragon solo by himself, but it's a cloud dragon, and, you know, from the side of Death Card's Gold, they don't mind going for this scaling. They don't mind, like, giving up an early dragon or anything, because the lanes aren't under pressure. Everyone's farming really well, and, you know, the early couple of plays that Dreadzone did go for weren't able to snowball them ahead and, you know, get them anything realistically. So sure, they get the dragon, but look at the general things that they lose out on.
Yeah, and realistically, with a pace that is going for the game for the side of Death Card's Gold, like you're pointing out, the scaling is just going to be so magnificent for them. The Vel'Koz ahead in CS, the Jinx ahead in CS, she's going to be able to get to that strong point really early on. And even if they lose the Herald, which could be something that can happen, because I feel like this is this Herald, potential Herald fight is going to be a much more stronger point for DZG. Like, even if they lose that, and even if they lose a couple of plates, it's not going to be the worst of the world in the world. Like, their composition, being down 1,000 gold by 15, it's not bad. Being down at 2,000 gold, it's not bad. They just need to keep on scaling and not give away anything important. And it's instead the timer being put onto the side of DCG that may affect them. Gank onto the Vel'Koz maybe, but he has flash.
Good's kind of standing in the vision pocket there from Power over the Ethernet, but, you know, once again, just posturing on that top half of the lane, and Luke bots out the Jarvan, so once again, just the Jarvan has just not been anywhere. They're gonna look for another gank on towards the Vel'Koz there, and forces the flash out of Grugs, but maybe that was a bit kind of telegraphed, but especially since they saw the Jarvan, it shouldn't have happened. But, you know, they want to potentially look on the Vel'Koz once again. Kubomi is there, but the Vel'Koz is just gonna take the reset, and, you know, this Jarvan is losing out on farm and losing out on map pressure, and, you know, Dreadzone just slowly bleeding away in terms of what they can do here. You see here, Power over the Ethernet starting up this Rift Herald, but if Luke decides to breathe in that direction of the upper river, Power over the Ethernet is in a world of trouble.
Oh wait, maybe? Yeah, Graves is kind of... Oh wait.
Oh, Flash Engage coming in from the side of Kubomi here. Gonna tag off that Misfortune with the exhaust as well. Lantern not available to save the Jinx there, but running is that Crucifix. But first blood in the mid lane going over towards the Vel'Koz. Kubomi forced to pick up the kill as well.
No, I think he's... Oh wait!
Oh no, Mac Animus trades the kill on towards Misfortune. Flash for Flash's Summoners traded all towards this bot side for the side of Dreadzone Gaming. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a 2-for-2.
Yeah, a 2-for-1 actually. Oh no, actually, yeah, 2-for-2. Sorry, I kind of me saw the situation, but it's still 2-for-2 in favor of the side of DCG because they get the Herald as well. So they get the positive net gold, or the potential positive net gold, if they are able to utilize this Herald to get at least 2 turret plates, or even Lucas doing that. Like, this pressure from this race is so much. Oh wait!
Yeah, oh my god, the Jinx Rocket! The flash coming in from the Graves as well. One more Q would do it, no! Able to dodge out, but Power of the Ether gets the cage on towards 2 as well. The recall coming from Victor. Nebo is just gonna free auto attack away. Power of the Ether picks up the kill on towards the Vel'Koz. Misfortune picks up the kill on towards the Graves. And, you know, we talked about getting that early snowball, getting things happening. Power over the Ethernet heard us talking smack and decided, you know what, time to do some winning.
I'm not gonna lie, I won't give credit to Power of the Internet because it wasn't him. Honestly, it was more the bot lane. Like, if they are don't rotate like that, that play probably is not going to work in their favor. The Victor was out of the battle. They are able to make that work out just because Kubomi and Nevo were there. If not, that probably doesn't work out. But they are able to make it work out and now get up four turret plates in the mid lane. They are able to use the Herald really well and they don't kill the Victor. So all of a sudden, a nice net gold swing in the favor of the side of DZG. They're able to now make the gold lead just 500 in the favor. It's still not enough, don't get me wrong. Like, it's nice, it's not enough, but it's a nice first step, especially when we're yet to reach 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know that also partially was just the fact that they wanted to look for a force on towards Bobster Penguin, and
Yeah.
Dread Zone were in position to be able to reply there. But you know, kind of once again, if we can, you know, kind of get a gold toggle as well on towards the jungle differential and gold. Azir ultimate for ultimate. That's
Oh.
one laser channeling in towards the misfortune.
Holy
That's just gonna be a sliver of health that Nevo is able to survive on, and oh my goodness, that was. You know, they're kind of just both standing there daring each other who is gonna play chicken first, and neither of them are gonna back out, just tanking the full force of both ultimates.
Yeah, and I gotta commend the Vel'Koz because it's usually the mage that kind of runs away just because, but he just decides to stay on top of the misfortune, and if he had just a little bit more damage, that misfortune is 100% dead. But that's a good sign for what is to come, because in the later stage of the game, that misfortune dies way quicker than that. Same for the Vel'Koz though.
Yeah, absolutely. And see here, Dread Zone Gaming posturing towards this bottom half of the map now, getting that first rite of passage in towards the river. Gonna look to start up this dragon on spawn, and you know, definitely a good look here if they want to go for this play. The
Yeah,
side
I'm not sure
of
if I
Death
would
Card
like them to answer it.
Yeah, side Death Cards are in position to kind of answer here, but it's just gonna be a little bit of a dragon dance now. See here, Thresh walking at Machammer is gonna get tagged up by that gravity field, but the hook going in on towards Kuomi as well. Not able to get the double knockout as well, but the Jinx auto is able to execute off that Alistair shot. Arvin able to pick up the dragon there, but no flash on J4 means that they can keep looking for the chase. Luke is kind of running in Mach 10 with this Graves, the flag and drag, able to keep himself alive, and it's just gonna be a 1-for-0, but they want to look for more. Mahar is here as well, and this Mundo goes where he pleases, TDS, and he's just chopping down Mobster Penguin. It's time for your medical checkup, and it is gray screen o'clock for you. Mobster Penguin returns himself to the fountain. Now they pick up that first tower in the mid lane, but you know, once again, it's just a lot of resources and kills being traded on the map. And you know, what do you take stock of this so far, TDS?
A 1-for-1, I think it's always in favor of the team that has the better scaling because they are getting the same value for pretty. Oh, they got even better value now. They killed the Jarvan in some way. I don't know how that happened. So even adding to that extra value of the scaling, thanks to the fact that they get extra gold, they get at plates as well before they are running out. I feel like it's about to be running out as well. So even though they don't get the full turret, it's still a lot of gold that is coming back into the hands of Death Guard's gold. And the fact that they are so close in gold by 15 minutes, it's a thing that I wanted to point out. Like they just need for this to keep on happening. Gold.
Yeah, speaking of keep on happening, they're trying to make it keep on happening here. Luke gonna go in here, the True Grit keeping him alive for so long here. One more auto would be able to do it, but no, the Victor able to get the return damage on towards the Graves. Now Kubomi is just gonna be a cow looking on the plate for Vel'Koz right here, but the return engage on towards two. You know, Gross might be in trouble here. The flash follow up gets the stun on towards the Vel'Koz. Good play from the side of Macanimus, able to get peel and disengage for both teams, and you know, just once again, constantly looking for these trades, looking for this non-stop action. But I can't help to feel like there's a 400 gold lead here, and that's not going to be enough if DZG wants to pull off this early lead.
Yeah, and honestly, the more I've seen the Kubomi Alistar, oh wait, flash.
Oh no, the flash coming in.
Okay. That didn't work out quite well, right? Like quite what we expected. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to burn the TP from the Vel'Koz here, but look at Mobster Penguin as well. You know, Mundo says, "Hey, it's time for your return checkup. Come with me. Let's go to the gray screen together, friend." And you know, that Mundo has the Anathema's chain completed already, and just looking at this whole situation, you see Crucifix on the Jinx has not been punished for the scaling. You look at Mundo able to pick up some early kills to get himself to some of that really tanky items here. And, you look at these towers, they're kind of falling like dominoes as well. As you see in the top half as well, another fight going down. Luke's gonna get caught out here by the Jarvan and the Alistar. Here's the flash out of cage. Means that they're gonna be able to pick up the kill on towards the Graves. Power for Ethernet, able to get it and pick it up with that flash follow up. And 6 to 8 so far on the map, but only a 400 kill difference. So they're gonna get the Herald here, but this once again that kind of ticking time bomb question: how long can you afford to keep going 1 for 1?
Yeah, the important question mark will begin with the next Dragon fight, because that's where I feel like every member will be collapsing towards the Dragon. It's going to be Soul Point, Mountain Soul Point, which is going to be ideal for both teams, especially since they're going towards the tankier side with some stacking on the armor. So that Dragon is going to be so important for them. And the fact that the Graves has been questionable to say the least in getting kills and getting damage down, it's going to turn around in that fight, because now we will have the champions that will stand in front of him, and his damage will be able to at least kill the squishes a little bit better. The only thing that I'm kind of worried is that the fact that he went for the lethality route means that against Jarvan, against Trundle, and against Alistar that are much more on the tankier side, it's going to have a harder time killing them, and if they cannot kill those champions quickly, then it's going to be really hard to be able to win those team fights.
Yeah, absolutely. And hope maybe that Graves starts to build. And you see the crit click from the Graves is also maybe that could be a Lord Dominic's regards. And I hope it is, because if you go for the Collector, the Graves damage is just not going to be consequential enough. Now we see the Gale Force coming out of Nebo there, but you look at that, Jake's triple dagger has that Kraken Slayer completed as well. Definitely a looming threat. Victor has the crown. Everyone's kind of completed their first items here, just except for the side of Mechanimus. And 30 seconds until the Dragon here. This is the moment that Death Cards would want to look for a fight, because if they don't take this now, they're not going to have another chance. And a looming Soul Point threat is really big for the side of DZG to capitalize on.
Yeah, this dragon is going to be super crucial to collect for the side of Death Cards Gold, because if they get it, they buy themselves not only the 4 minutes that this dragon comes in, but the next dragon as well. They can just leave it up. They can just give it away, and it's not going to be game over. And that means that by the 30-minute mark, which is where the game is going to prolong itself to. Wait, are they giving it up? Yeah, Trundle doesn't have teleport, so he cannot come in.
Yeah,
DZG just gave it up.
Yeah, I mean, DZG just definitely looks like they did give it up here. Now they are going to trade a tower towards this top half, and that opens the map a lot more for the side of Dreadzone Gaming. It gets some standing gold into their pockets as well. But, once again, that Mundo going where he pleases. Hello there, it's me, the Doctor, and I'm trying to check you up right now. Alistar able to walk out. This one being the rocket goes wide as well. The Graves not going to be on target as well. The ultimate re-engage from the side of Alistar as well. But Crucifix is on a killing spree, and that Mundo, Mundo there, a little bit of an injection. Spice it up, baby. The Doctor is still in town.
Yeah, they are losing turrets on both side lanes thanks to the Herald as well as the Trundle pushing in. But once again, gold given into the pocket of the Jinx, turret taking down, game being able to be prolonged. This state is not necessarily bad for DZG just because they are able to open so much of the map, but it's not that great either. Like, they still are in a spot where if they don't win the next immediate fight, which probably would be either Baron or the next Dragon, then this game is going to turn harder and harder for them, and they are not going to be able to get that damage later on the game. Like, it's going to be a lot on Kubomi getting a Marvel's Engage with Power of Ethernet following up, and then a Misfortune ultimate that can kill everyone. But if not because of that, like, those teamfights are going to be extremely hard to fight, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing, can kind of note TDS is that it's so early on in the game. It's only 19 minutes, and the fact that you have the tier 2s on both bot and top gone means that Dreadzone don't really have a lane that they can siege comfortably. You push too far up in that top or bottom lane, and you open yourselves up to that Mundo sprinting in at you. You open yourselves up to that Thresh looking for those area control plays, and DZG right now, they need to just play for a fight that they can win, because otherwise they can't keep going. They can't afford to go split push anymore, because they can add the lanes off the side. Death Cards can answer extremely well. That Runon's on the Jinx as that wave clear. Vel'Koz extraordinarily good at wave clearing, and Mundo, he's going where he pleases. It's gonna be hard, and we can't see DZG rely on the same thing again, because that's the definition of insanity, trying something over and over again.
At this point, I feel like one of the best things they can try and look for is a death push. Like, try and force the side of Death Guard's Gold into a super tough situation, be it forcing Baron buff or forcing them to protect a certain place and try and force a death push to try and force a fight. Because if not, like, just playing tit for tat is not going to be ideal for them.
Yeah, and speaking of not ideal for them, the Doctor is looking to check up once again, but he's got friends here. Day keeps the Doctor away. Mahar's going to be in trouble here. Who's the kill going to be going over towards? And it looks like power over Ethan that is able to pick it up thanks to a clutch locket from the side of Kubomi keeping him alive. The Jinx rocket just goes wide there, but once again, another tower picked up, and Bruno doesn't really care if you kill him because you look at those items. The Frozen Fist completed, the Anathema's Chains completed, the health is stacking, and that took all members of Red Zone Gaming to be able to pick off that Mundo there. Imagine what happens when it's a team fight, TDS.
Yeah, in honesty, I feel like it was closer for the Mundo killing the Victor than them killing the Mundo. Like, if not for the fail in the briefcase at that part in the end, like he probably treats 1-for-1 in that situation, and that would have been the worst case scenario for the side of DZG. Luckily, they are able to stop it, and they are able to kind of stop as well the looming threat of the Mundo going to a certain place because he also flew Flash, which means that if he is caught up in that position again, he may not be that confident into looking for that fight. But still, it's not the best of situations for DZG. Like, it's not bad, but it's not great, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, speaking of fights to look for, this dragon fight that's going to be coming up is going to be, the most crucial one off yet here. Now we see that, Luke is going to go for the pickaxe. It's going to be Stinky Collector, but you know what? We're here to talk about the game, not the item builds. And, a minute into this dragon, there's not enough vision from the side of Death Card's Gold, whereas, Dreadzone Gaming are well set up in advance. They're looking to push out their waves, and, they're putting themselves in a good position to be able to pick up this objective.
Yeah, this is the value when you get the turrets, the outer turrets as well as the inner turrets from the sidelines. You are able to open up the jungle so much more and allow for yourself to get that vision control that you're talking about, which is really, really important. Like, luckily for Death Guard's Gold, they don't need this particular dragon thanks to the fact that they already collected one. But it's still a spot where, like you're pointing out, having so much vision control, when someone walks in badly, like here... Okay, Graves didn't go badly.
Yeah, I mean, just teasing around these edges of visions here. The ward is going to spot out some
nice
people
flash.
here, but the Jarvan Flag Drag and the flash can be avoided out of the Valkos. The Death Blaze is going out onto the Misfortune half health as well. Outside knock up in the backline onto his two, but the bundle is coming in from behind. Gruggs is going to get an exhaust onto his Misfortune with knocking up. He's trying to kite away from the Mega Chaos Storm. Is going to be taking so much damage away in the lives off the side of Death Guard's Gold as well. Mundo walking away. The dog here, hey, where are my patience? And the fight is just going in favor for the side of Dreadzone Gaming. That's going to be a 3-0. That's going to be Mountain Soul Point, and Crucifix wasn't in position to look for the fight. They look for damage, and they're able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, he was in position, but he was in a really bad position. He couldn't fight correctly because the Trundle was flanking really well. I gotta give credit to how the side of DZG fight is, and a lot of flag towards the side of Death Guard's Gold because they forced a fight that was realistically really stupid to fight. You don't have vision control, you're putting yourself in a bad spot, and the Vel'Koz was forced to flash really early on. They couldn't get anything with the Vel'Koz. Like, even when forcing onto the Misfortune, the Vel'Koz couldn't even kill her. So when you lack already the fact that you can kill the Misfortune like that, and you're getting flanked from the side like they did like DZG did, it was going to be almost impossible to be able to pull off that fight. And instead, DZG playing the fight correctly, forcing a lot out of the Vel'Koz, and the side of Death Guard's Gold are able to win the fight and get the dragon as well. They don't commit for this Baron buff because they know that the members are going to collapse on here. I'm not sure if they can go for the Baron buff themselves, but it seems like they maybe all teleport.
Yeah, we see the teleport coming in from the side of Octoblue. We're gonna see a fight here. Magnanimous is gonna be chucked out to half health. Well, the page onto a 3 with the Misfortune ultimate. Flashes out in response as well, but look at Grags and Magnanimous not gonna be able to live long enough. The Graves is gone as well. The Jinx is gone as well. That's gonna be a full out wipe 4-0 for the side of Dreadzone Gaming, and they're looking to take us to a game 3 so far, TDS.
Yeah, and it's honestly Death Guard's Gold playing like they have the lead from the last game. They are trying to force fights when they can. The Graves is completely useless. It's the most useless champion I've seen in so much time, and it's thanks to the fact that he's O5. Like, he cannot do anything. He doesn't have good items. He's just running in to die. He's essentially not achieving anything. He's a glorified minion at this point. And the Mundo couldn't achieve anything. In honesty, if Death Guard's Gold just waited for their opportunity, they probably could have achieved much more, but instead are kind of afraid of trying to wait. Like they are not willing to play the waiting game, and that just meant that they are going to lose that fight immediately. Great teleport flank, great advantage used by the side of DCG, and this is the value out of the vision control that you get thanks to controlling those side lanes turrets as well as the mid lane turret getting down. Like you are able to open up the map so much, and DCG simply have much more control than anything the side of the Death Guard Skull have right now.
Yeah, and you kind of look at things about talking about control. You know, lane control is absolutely one of them. Octofu has that whole breaker completed, and you know how it is with the whole breaker trundle. You buff it, you buff up those minions, and kind of just start running at them, and it's almost impossible
Yep.
to deal with. You know, the
Who's
rest of
going
the
to
side
stop
of
him now?
you know, just gonna be pushing out mid, and you know, the whole situation now. We were talking about how the kind of whole side lane pressure and the kind of laning kind of constantly pushing towards sides is going to cost the side of DZG, but they were able to capitalize on the fights. They were able to win it out, and now they're starting to reap the rewards of just being able to pick up some of these last towers.
Yeah, the fight that they needed to win, they were able to win it, and that just meant the game was going to go much more in the favor of Wolf. This Grace, he's not having his time. Oh, Mudo?
Yeah, speaking of not having his time, Mahar looking like the doctor's appointment clock is just gonna run out here. The pillar gonna be slowing down the Mundo here, and look at that Trundle dashing away with that pillar. Not doing a lot of damage, but the auto attacks are coming through. This is certainly a meat slapping festival in the top lane here, TDS. The
He failed the Q
minions
though.
are working with Mahar here, and just like that, the flash forced out of Mahar. One more pillar, just gonna slow down the Trundle.
Dead.
One more chop as well. Toby able to pick up the kill, and the Jinx rocket is not enough.
Mahar needed to hit that one briefcase that went away. Like if he hits that, they probably win that.
They want
But
to look
he
for
couldn't.
more here.
Oh,
They're going to
they're
go
dead.
in. This Fortune all coming down as well. The laser coming out from the Vel'Koz, but it's not going to be enough. You're the one dissected tonight, buddy. This Fortune, Neville 4-1 and 8 right now. Crucifix forced to kind of just pick up the slack in this top lane. But once again, you know, the side Death Cards, they're just bleeding open in their base right now. They're losing so much on the map right now.
Yeah, they don't have a good way to stopping the bleeding that like they are doing. Like their composition is really good when they can reach that 30-minute mark with the Jinx with 3 items. But the Balkos is dying left and right. They don't have any control. They essentially don't have a jungler. So it's really hard to stop the bleeding as much as they are doing. And DZG are forcing the issue as much as they can, which I really like because that's the way for them to winning. If they are able to keep on forcing the issue, they are more than likely to keep on winning the game. And with the soul coming in 40 seconds, they should be able to close out this game because without vision control, I love the pan because this shows perfectly what the side of Death Guard Skull is lacking and the harshness for them to try and go for this dragon. Like when they get the soul, which more than likely they will, they're going to be tankier and not tankier than whatever the damage from Death Guard Skull is going to be able to pan out, and they are not going to be able to win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, right now it's just kind of a waiting game here. You know, we see
Death push.
Mahar here kind of Mundo walking up here now is able to just because, you know, the doctor goes where he pleases. But, you know, look at the rest of Death Card's gold. They're kind of pushing
Totally
up
stop.
so far forward in towards this blind spot. Octovu is kind of split pushing there. So, you know, you'd like to think that Dreadzone are willing to give away this dragon. Now, it is going to be an objective bounty, but, you know, we'll have to see how they play it out.
Yeah, I feel like you have to play tit for tat. Like Misfortune is going towards the mid lane, so Death Guard's gold have to force this. Yeah, they have to get this
And
dragon.
they're just gonna commit for the split push here. You look at Misfortune, look at Trundle. They're gonna be able to end the game. Now
They're
Mahar is
sacrificing
gonna
the Mundo.
sacrifice his life here, but the rest of Death Cards are kind of just watching as their base falls to tatters here. Octofu is just kind of going for the game here. They're
He's
going
going back.
straight for the Nexus towers here. They cancel 2 of the recalls. There seems to be the Vel'Koz and the Thresh available, but great pillar cancels out the
Yeah,
Vel'Koz
that's
ultimate.
it.
Ultra going in on towards the Thresh as well. The Trundle chomping away at the Thresh and Macanimus. You had that last pop-off game on the Thresh, but not this time, buddy. We see here Octofu just tanking the tower here. He doesn't care. And it looks like
That's
Dreadzone
it.
Gaming,
Game 3.
they're going to force themselves in towards the game 3. You know, same picks in the ball lane, but different story here. We're going to a game 3, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Kuromi and Neville were able to turn around, but I gotta give this game going completely in favor of this G in two particular plays. One, the one that we pointed out quite a lot, and the one that really made the game much more go completely in their favor and much more effectively put them in the win, which was the dragon fight. I think it was the 4th dragon fight, where they were able to get on top of the Vel'Koz, kill the Vel'Koz, and force us such an awkward position from the side of Death Guard Skull that they couldn't see the team fight. that one win, that one moment, just completely evaporated anything that happened previously from the side of Death Guard's Gold and made the game completely in favor of DCG. But the other play that to me sticks out quite a lot and that enabled that to happen later on was one of the first ganks from the Jarvan 4 when they were able to get the kill on the mid lane, where Kubomi and what was it called? Kubomi and Neville were able to come into the mid lane after the 2v2 kill and then kill the Jarvan, and the Belkos, and the Graves. That play completely turned around the game because the early game was going completely in favor of the Gold. They were ahead, they had control. They may have lost the 2v2, but it didn't matter that much because they were able to collect kills back, and the Mundo was running away with the top lane. So if not thanks to that play where they were able to collect 4 plates in the mid lane and almost the complete turret and 2 kills as well, like the game would have been much harder for DCG. So thankfully that happened and they were able to turn it around and allowed for the series to now go towards the game 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Dead Zone Gaming kind of, said they picked up their losses in that first game, but they figured their stuff out. The Jarvan ganks, he kept looking for those opportunities, Power of Ethernet, and the moment he found one, they kind of just snapped.
Yeah.
Absolutely, really well done from Dread Zone Gaming to have that resilience to come back, especially after that kind of stomp of a game one even. And, we'll be going to a short expected delay break here, but, ladies and gentlemen, we have a great series on our hands here. So, don't go anywhere and we'll be right back.
Everybody panic! Hold on! I'm about to say something really cool. 3, 41, 9, and lift off! No one dies screaming without me. I feel like I forgot to shoot something. You're starting to bore me. She's such a loser, always ready to cry. Ah, come on. What's the worst that could happen?
welcome back to welcome back towards this you know draft for this game three. We're gonna be kicking off any second now. Just waiting on our couple teams to be getting ready as oh, looks like we might have a word that the draft link might be bugged. So just give us a little second here while
No.
we sort it out. But TS, what do you sort of expect in terms of this game three and what type of things we're gonna see out of both teams?
Well, one huge change that we already saw in the second game from the side of DZG that I failed to point out was the fact that they went for a much more cohesive composition. They have champions that want to run in and that pair up really well. Like you have the Jarb and the Alistar as well as the Misfortune Ultimate there to just essentially be able to destroy everyone in a single moment. Which means that already just as as the game went on, the composition being much more cohesive was easier to execute. Obviously, there were moments that it looked kind of hairy, and honestly, I've thought that they were going to fail, but they executed on what they needed to do really well, and the Trundle really just a nice addition to just keep up the split push. Now, this game, I'm not expecting to see the same level of split pushing from the side of TCG, but I want to have a composition, or I want to see a composition from them that has a similar idea, a similar theme, something that they can all agree on doing and execute as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely, kind of one thing that we want to be looking forward to as
Yeah.
just giving us a couple more seconds here as we kind of see the picks and bans kind of go through, but right away, kind of see these bands coming out, and it's the same kind of thing. Zeri, Syndra, the Jinx gonna be taken off here for the side of Death Card's Gold. So that's one thing we're gonna notice. We're gonna see the Trundle gonna look at locked in. We're gonna see the Thresh from Magnanimous once again. But we're gonna see the Caitlyn Leona come out for the
Yeah.
side of DZG Olympus.
Oh, okay.
Whoa!
I'm I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that. But I just wanted to point out that this was something that we were missing. The Caitlyn. The Jinx was getting picked so much, but the Caitlyn really never appeared, and she's one of the better answers against the Jinx thanks to the fact that she can push away. But Draven coming in, these picks and bans are flying though. Like they just ban immediately. They are ready to play the last game. They want to get this over. Okay, and a
Yeah,
Silas to run it up. Oh, okay. There's so much to unpack.
absolutely. Now, as towards our pick ban speed, I believe it's just because both teams kind of griefed us a little bit and started it before
Yeah,
we were even ready. But kind of, what? Honestly, I'm not complaining too much. We do
yeah.
see a real. I feel like what's a really big blunder is we see that Malphite get locked in on the fourth blue pick there, and immediately Death Card's Gold see that and gonna say, okay, we're just gonna pick Silas.
Yeah, so kind of the always useful counter towards this kind of big ultimate champion. Silas works well against the Malphite in the top lane, against the Shen, against something like a Seraphine as well because of their big ultimates. And he may find a lot of value in this game, especially with the amount of AP that he will go for. He can burst out the Caitlyn as quickly as possible. But the worry is that if the Malphite gets a clean ultimate, Draven is not the easiest to escape against this kind of champions because he doesn't have a lot of mobility. Like he has his movement speed boost, but he doesn't have a dash or anything like that apart from the flash. So the lantern is going to be pivotal. The flash time is going to be pivotal for the Draven as well. And if you're able to ignore the Malphite ultimate in this game, you can ignore a lot of the wombo potential as well because the Bex, the Leona are going to be there to follow up, or they are going to work in conjunction with the Malphite ultimate. This game is going to fall a lot on the wombo combo potential from DCG.
Yeah, I think one really important thing to note is honestly just going to be the discipline that Death Cards Gold also have. They
Yeah.
have that kind of, they have the Corki, they have the Draven, they have the Silas, and all of these champions are, they have a specific thing they want to do, and it's going to take time. It's going to take, it's going to take conditions for those things to be met. Draven wants to get that cash in. You want to see the Silas steal crucial ultimates for fights. You want the Corki to be able to good off a good package. So one thing that I think is going to be crucial for the side death cards in order to be able to think about winning this game easily or just even is how disciplined can they be in terms of following their win conditions.
Yeah, it's important that they don't pull the trigger finger a lot or they are just not ready for what can happen. And we saw that in the previous game where in situations where they don't really need it to pull the trigger, they pull the trigger. And that just meant that their advantage or their position in the game was affected quite heavily thanks to that. Like this time around, they don't have the same level of scaling thanks to the fact that Draven is not really the Jinx, so he's not going to be a hyper scaler, but they will have a little bit more early game pressure on the bot lane thanks to this. They will also have the Sylas that should be able to win the early stages of the matchup. And then I always catalog Sylas as a champion that if he doesn't have great ultimates to steal, he scales. He is a mid game champion. But if he has great ultimates, he becomes a late game champion all of a sudden because his value is directly tied to what ultimates he has immediate access to, and he can make the most out of. So the Malphite ultimate, the Vex ultimate, the Leona ultimate this game are so good for him that his scaling is going to go much higher. And then we all know Corki and Hecarim. So this composition, it's not similar to the to having the Jinx, but it does have power in the 3 stages of the game where there's good transition from each point, and if you are able to play around that as Death Guard's goal, you should have so much value. But in the mid game, particularly for DZG Olympus, once again, like we saw in the previous game, this is where they will shine quite a lot because if they are able to utilize their ultimates effectively, they're going to get so much value and so much advantages that they can just run the game through that.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of things that we want to run through, we want to be running through this spectate delay, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. We want to see this game 3 action just as much as you do. So, with that being said, we're just going to jump to a short spectator delay break. So, don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.